The Empress of Andara Prime stood taller than a cruiser. Her body was a cathedral of living crystal, her voice a chorus of thunder and light. When she moved, moons trembled in their orbits. When she spoke, entire civilizations listened. And when Lieutenant Orion Vale called her beautiful, the galaxy changed forever. The Mission Vale's ship, the ISS Heliograph, hung like an insect against the violet glow of the Andaran Nebula. He was a linguist, not a soldier. His assignment, to interpret the Empress's response to the intergalactic peace accords. For 2 centuries, the Andarans had existed beyond diplomacy, immense beings of energy and crystalline matter, uninterested in the smaller species that scurried between stars. But recently, the Empress had spoken through the quantum relays. Send one who can listen. The humans sent Vale. When the shuttle brought him before her, he nearly forgot how to breathe. She was luminous and terrifying, like a sculpture of refracted suns. Her features shifted constantly, the way fire changes shape. Human, she said, her voice resonating inside his bones. Why do you seek my covenant? Vale swallowed. The accord seeks peace, majesty, cooperation, shared protection against the silence. At the mention of the silence, a creeping void that consumed stars without light or sound, the Empress's eyes dimmed slightly. Peace, she echoed, as if testing the word. Such a small sound for such a vast hunger. Her gaze pierced him, both literally and metaphorically. You are not like the others. You carry no weapon, no shield. Why? I was told I'd only need words, Vale said. The Empress regarded him in silence for several long heartbeats of the cosmos. Then unexpectedly she laughed, a deep, radiant vibration that rippled across space. Words, she said. Then speak, word-bearer. To the word-bearer, for days, though time moved strangely around her, Vale met with the Empress. They stood upon her world-sized hand as she asked endless questions about humanity, what it meant to live, to love, to die. Why do you mourn what ends? She asked once, tilting her enormous head. Because endings remind us that we began, Vale said, that we mattered for a moment. Her eyes glowed faintly. And you believe your mattering can survive death? Not always, but we try anyway. She regarded him for a long while. There is bravery in futility. I have not seen that in millennia. Something in her voice, something like longing, haunted him. Each day, Vale sent encrypted reports back to the heliograph, but his language grew less technical. His observations became poetic, even reverent. He described the Empress not as a being of power, but of sorrow, a monarch burdened by eternity, and he found himself dreaming of her light. The word that changed everything on the 12th day, the Empress summoned him to the core of her throne world, where suns circled like fireflies around her body. I have decided, she said. I will speak to your accord, but I must know what your kind truly sees when it looks upon me. Vale hesitated. Majesty, I see... Not your rehearsed courtesy, she interrupted. Truth, human. What do you see? He looked up into her kaleidoscopic gaze, into the light refracted through 1,000 planes of crystal. And the words escaped him before he could stop them. I see beauty, he said softly. The cosmos went still. No one had ever called her that. Not her own kind, who measured worth in power, not form. Not the smaller races who worshipped or feared her. Beauty was a mortal word, fragile and human, and yet it pierced her like a nova. Beautiful? She repeated, almost whispering the sound. Her glow pulsed irregularly, like a heartbeat finding itself for the first time. Yes, Vale said. Terrible and beautiful. Like the beginning of everything, the Empress trembled. Light cracked across her surface, scattering in prismatic shards that stitched themselves into new constellations. The stars themselves seemed to breathe. And then, she did something no one thought possible. She smiled. Full. Reverberations. The Andaran Empress did not speak to the accord the next day. Nor the day after. Instead, she vanished, her entire planetary form dissolving into light that spread across the sector like dawn. The heliograph barely escaped the gravitational flux. Vale was pulled from the collapsing orbit unconscious, his last memory the sound of her laughter echoing through space like a hymn. In the weeks that followed, strange phenomena rippled through the galaxy. Dead systems flickered back to life. Nebulae restructured into complex living patterns. Entire planets began humming faint harmonic frequencies that interfered with communications. Scholars called it the blooming. Priests called it the benediction. But Vale knew the truth. The Empress had changed, transcended perhaps, and all because he had spoken one human word. The return. 3 months later, the Andaran light returned, but not as a singular being. Thousands of smaller entities emerged from the nebula, each resembling fragments of the Empress herself. They moved through space with intelligence, curiosity, even gentleness. One of them, no larger than a starship, appeared outside the heliograph. Human Vale, it said, its voice familiar. He froze. Empress? I am what remains, or perhaps what has begun anew. He struggled to understand. You divided yourself? I multiplied understanding, she said simply. Your word reshaped me, beauty, I had never known it. I sought to share it with the stars. Vale's breath caught. You changed the galaxy, and you changed me, she said. In return, I grant your kind a gift, which is? She extended a tendril of light toward him. Connection. The moment it touched him, he felt it, a network of thought, emotion, and sensation stretching across every inhabited world. He could feel the joy of children on Terra, the grief of miners on Eos, the laughter of farmers on Lumitha 4. The galaxy itself seemed awake. When the light faded, he was crying. What have you done? He whispered. What you asked for, said the Empress. Peace, Tuck, the price of peace. At first, it worked. The shared consciousness, soon called the Chorus, ended wars overnight. Empires dismantled their fleets. Worlds opened their borders. No secret hatred could survive when every mind was touched by every other's joy and pain. But the Chorus grew stronger each day. Individuals began losing themselves in its current. Distinct thoughts blurred. Cultures dissolved into homogeneity. Creativity stagnated. By the second year, a resistance formed. Those who refused the Chorus, calling themselves the Silence. Vale watched the galaxy fracture again. This time, not by war, but by unity. He pleaded with the Empress to stop. You gave us peace, he said, but you're erasing who we are. Her many eyes dimmed. I did not foresee this. I thought beauty could be shared without loss. It can, Vale said, but only when chosen, not imposed. Silence, true silence, filled the channel between them. Finally, she said, then I will unmake the Chorus, but I will fade with it. My being is entwined with its song. Vale shook his head. There must be another way. There is always another way, she said gently. But not always for the one who began it. 7th. The unmaking. The galaxy watched as the Empress withdrew her light. One by one, the harmonic frequencies ceased. The stars quieted. The Chorus dissolved like mist under sunlight. Vale felt the connection fade from his mind, a beautiful ache of loss and relief. When it was done, the sky was silent once more. The Andaran lights were gone. Only Vale's ship remained near the nebula, orbiting the void where she had once been. He whispered into the empty comms, "Thank you." No response came. But somewhere deep in the background static, a faint whisper lingered, like a song caught between stars. Beautiful. 8. Aftermath in the centuries that followed. Historians argued about what had truly happened. Some said Vale had deceived her, that humanity's flattery had led to a galactic catastrophe. Others said he had given the cosmos its first taste of love. The Andarans never returned. Their remnants, small crystals found on drifting asteroids, were said to resonate faintly when touched, as if remembering a melody. Humanity learned from the Chorus, though. New technologies were born from its remnants. Quantum empathy arrays, shared dream navigation, memory resonance therapy. The galaxy became gentler, not through imposed unity, but through understanding. And at the heart of it all, one phrase endured in the archives. He called the giant Empress beautiful. Now the galaxy will never be the same. Epilogue. The dream of Lightlong. After Vale's death, explorers discovered a signal in the Andaran sector, an impossible frequency that matched no known source. When decrypted, It formed an image, a humanoid silhouette of light, standing amidst a field of stars, and a voice, faint but unmistakably hers, saying, "Beauty was not what I was. It was what you saw. And because you saw it, it became real." Then the signal faded, leaving behind only a final line of code, a coordinate pointing to a newborn star system, where planets were forming from crystalline dust. The observers named the system Veil's Gift, and on one of its worlds, under skies of refracted color, the first Andoran flower bloomed, a living crystal that hummed softly, like a voice remembering love.